I watched the first 3 episodes of the documentary, and there's lots of red flags, and I came to the following conclusions. If you liked Harry and Meghan before they made this docuseries, you are going to still like Harry and Meghan. If you never cared about Harry and Meghan, you're probably not watching this documentary. But if you did watch it, you probably still don't care about them. And if you didn't like Harry and Meghan before they made this documentary, or more specifically, Meghan, you're probably going to dislike her even more now.
Meg, you need to know that you matter.
Really? No one's ever told me I mattered before.
That's why you have to say it. So say it.
I matter.
Louder!
I matter!
Shut up, Meg. You don't matter.
There were so many red flags in this documentary just relating to Meghan and Harry's relationship. But first, before I get into it, if you are new here, welcome. And if you would like to see more, please hit the subscribe button. And if you like the video, please hit the like button. If you are a returning viewer and you have not yet subscribed to my channel, if you've been here 2, 3, 4 times and you're not yet subscribed, stay a little while. Don't play hard to get. Just stay a little while. Let's be friends. Anyways, moving on. So they have an opening. We see Prince Harry and Meghan Markle monologuing to their cameras, pretending that they weren't planning to do this the entire time, trying to be coy and be like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this video. Maybe I'll do something with it. Maybe I won't. They're acting coy, but we know this was their plan the entire time. So it starts off with that. And then there's opening credits. And then we move on to the first scene where we see Meghan and Harry sitting together. The first thing that came to my head was, this looks like the opening scene from Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Okay, I'll go first. Let me say, we don't really need to be here.
I just want to start with this little moment.
They look so awkward in this moment. There's like a split second where they look really, really awkward and tense, but then they get back into character, and the person behind the camera brings forward a clip of Meghan Markle from 2015, just a couple of months before she met Prince Harry.
Prince William or Prince Harry?
I don't know.
Harry. Harry? Sure.
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 What year was that?
October 2015.
October 2015?
Less than a year.
Before we met?
This just, again, shows how little you knew.
The fact that Harry made this statement and is trying to persuade the audience that this shows that Meghan didn't know who he was, this is some really weak evidence. First of all, she did not say, who is Prince Harry? If she didn't know who Prince Harry and Prince William were, she would have said so. But she answered the question and she chose you, guy. She chose you, my guy. So the truth of the matter is that a lot of people have accused Meghan of being a social climber. Her former friends have accused her of being a social climber. The Australian media has accused her of being a social climber. The British media has accused her of being a social climber. Many people have accused Meghan of being a social climber. She uses people to get ahead in her career. And they're trying to persuade us with this docuseries that that is not true. It would be more believable if Meghan Markle would at least acknowledge having some passive knowledge of who Prince Harry was. I mean, everybody knows who Prince Harry and Prince William, Princess Diana, Prince Charles, now King Charles, the Queen. Whether or not you have an in-depth knowledge of them, they're recognizable figures. They were on the cover of every tabloid for decades. The fact that she just won't admit that she knew who he was is a big red flag to me. On top of the fact that the documentary does mention that Meghan had a blog called The Tig. And on The Tig, she did blog about travel, she blogged about food, and you know what she also vlogged about? Prince William and Kate Middleton's wedding. They don't mention that in the documentary, but it's well-documented fact. And as soon as she started dating Prince Harry, she removed those blog posts and eventually she shut down the website. They then go on to tell us about their first date and how they first met.
Meghan and I met over Instagram. I was scrolling through my feed.
Flashback.
How did you first meet?
Yes, we first met. We were introduced actually by a mutual friend.
But the friend who introduced you, was she trying to set you up?
Yes, it was definitely a setup. It was a blind date.
It was a blind date,
And-
for sure.
So when they first started dating, they told us that it was a blind date. They said that they were set up by a mutual friend and they had no idea who they were meeting with. Now, fast forward, they say that they met on Instagram. The only part of their story that has stayed consistent is the mutual friend part. But I even question if that person was really a friend, because when was the last time you sent your friend an email?
And then she sent me an email saying, I know you said you're single, and a friend of mine asked about you, and...
I send my friends email money transfers if we need to split the bill. I might forward a document to my friend if it is necessary through email, but I am not going to send an email to my friend who I am so close with that I took pictures on Snapchat. I am not going to send that person an email just to have casual conversation. You can talk to them on Instagram, WhatsApp, text message, Snapchat, which we know she has and that person has. There's all of these forms of social media. You can call the person, but this person sent you an email? I don't believe you. I think you're lying. I don't believe you. Like, why is there so much formality in how you are communicating with somebody who is your friend? I feel like this friend may be an industry friend or maybe a publicist. I don't know, but it seems like this date was set up because Prince Harry had a crush on Meghan Markle, and Meghan Markle's a social climber. So according to them, they spoke through Instagram, they DM'd a little bit, and then they exchanged phone numbers, and that is how they ended up eventually arranging their first date. One piece of information that was not addressed in the documentary is the accusation from Piers Morgan that Piers Morgan was actually supposed to go on a date with Meghan Markle that same day. And she canceled on Piers Morgan to go on a date with Prince Harry. And that is part of the reason that Piers Morgan has been so salty to Meghan Markle for all these years.
I don't believe a word she says, Meghan Markle.
Well, that's a
I wouldn't believe it if she
pathetic
read me a weather
reaction to
report.
someone-
So following their first date in London, Meghan goes back to her hotel room, and she then decides to contact Prince Harry and ask him to go on a date again. So the following night, so within a 24-hour period, they're going on 2 dates, okay? To me, that's a bit thirsty, but I understand you traveled really far to be here, so I get it. So they go on a second date the next night, and to me, this is a red flag. This was her second time meeting him. It's their second date, and she felt the need to take a picture with him.
There was one photo. We just wanted to capture the feeling of just sitting in that little restaurant and going, oh my gosh, I think we're gonna give it a go.
But if I were on a second date with somebody, right? We just met yesterday, now we're meeting again today, and they want to take a picture with me, I would think that's a little bit weird. I would think it's weird. To me, that looks like love bombing. And that is something that a lot of people have accused Meghan of doing. And this right there is evidence that that's exactly what she was doing. Taking a picture with the person you're on a second date with, especially such an intimate picture, to me is not normal. You might beg to differ, but to me that's not normal. But that is something that you would do if you were starstruck and you were on a date with a celebrity and you wanted to document that you went on a date with that celebrity. Very opportunistic. That's a red flag. Meghan referenced the photo, but didn't reference who took it. If I were a betting woman, I would bet that Meghan was the one who took the photo, and it was Meghan's idea to take the photo. This woman made sure that she was documenting their relationship from day 2. In the documentary, they also included some photos from their early days of dating, and some of the photos that they include FaceTime phone calls between Prince Harry and Meghan. And if I were to guess who took those screenshots, I would guess it was Meghan. And the reason that I say this is because when you are FaceTiming with somebody, right, you want to minimize yourself and have that person be center screen. I think even on some phones, it defaults to that. So when the person picks up the phone, your screen minimizes and it goes in the corner, and that person's screen becomes big and visible. So to me, it looks like Meghan Markle was taking screenshots of her FaceTime conversations with Prince Harry to document her love story. That's a red flag, red flag, red flag. And so they started dating, and Meghan told Harry that she wanted to have a 2-week rule.
She had a 2-week rule, which is very smart, that said we had to see each other in or around 2 weeks. I said, how is that even possible with the stuff that I'm doing? I'm not going to be able to travel to see you that much.
It was much easier for me to go and see him in the UK.
This girl was laying it on thick. So despite the fact that she was in Toronto, Canada, filming a show, and Prince Harry was in the UK and sometimes in Africa doing charitable work, she wanted to make sure that they saw each other at least every 2 weeks. I don't think having a 2-week rule is inherently a red flag, right? But most people that have long distance relationships don't live in 2 continents. And if they do live in 2 continents, they don't have the expectation to see each other every 2 weeks. I think she was being so aggressive with their dating schedule because she was love bombing him. Like, she really didn't help herself by pointing out all of these things in the documentary. And another red flag. So they have one of her friends, who is also one of her co-stars from Suits, talk about when she first learned that Harry and Meghan were dating.
It was 2016. Meghan and I met up in New York. She's like, yeah, I think I met someone and I'm in love. It's Prince Harry. And we have a photo from that moment.
Meghan really took a picture of her and her friend to document the moment that she told her friend that she's dating Prince Harry. Like, seriously, you're for real? You actually did that and you put it in the documentary because why? That's not endearing, girl. That's weird. I think it's funny that they're like laughing in the photo. They're like, you know what? If I won the lottery, I would probably be taking pictures with my friend too. So when Meghan Markle and Prince Harry first got engaged, they went to Nottingham to do a walkabout. And there's thousands of people lined up waiting for them to come and walk by and shake hands and say hi and take pictures. And there was an old man that was standing there with an owl, a fake owl, and he said this.
Harry's brought his bird to town, so I brought mine.
I tried. I really tried. I looked online. I'm like, maybe maybe I'm misunderstanding. Because over here, on this side of the world, when you call a woman a bird, it is an insult. Like, you're basically calling her a...
You ignorant slut!
And over there, when you call someone a bird, it is equally as offensive as when you call them a bird here. And that is just one example of many of the things that were said about Meghan after her engagement to Prince Harry. And I really feel like it was partially racism and more specifically classism. I think race was an element. I think race was also a subcategory of classism. Because she is biracial, she is of lower class, lower stature. Because she is an actress, a Hollywood actress, she is not worthy because she is divorced. She is not worthy because she is not of royal blood or royal descent. She is not worthy because she does not come from wealth. She is not worthy. I think all of those things were really the driving factors behind the British public not approving of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's relationship. But I also don't think it helps that she's really unlikable. Like, she's really unlikable. She does not do herself any favors. And when it first came out that they were dating, people were excited. And they talk about that in the documentary, and they include those clips in the documentary. But as people started to see all the red flags in her behavior, there started to be more and more disapproval of their relationship. And I get it. They said that they left Britain for a more peaceful existence. They wanted privacy. They wanted to escape the British media. But they have ingratiated themselves with American media. They did an interview with Oprah Winfrey. Meghan Markle started a podcast. Prince Harry has a book that's coming out. And they have put out this docuseries. So I don't believe that they left the royal family because they wanted privacy. When it comes to Prince Harry, I think that he did have his own personal reasons for wanting to leave the monarchy, regardless of whether or not Meghan was in the picture. And when it comes to Meghan Markle, I think that she wanted to return to Hollywood so she can continue to build on her career, her newfound fame, that she has gotten from being married to Prince Harry. But what do you think? Did you see any red flags in the relationship of Prince Harry and Meghan? Whatever your thoughts are, please comment them down below. If you want to keep up with my uploads, please hit the subscribe button. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. And if you would like to see more, check this out.